And we
Deja vu.
are
I've just been in
live.
this place.
What'd you say?
Deja vu.
Deja vu. Yeah, it's almost like we've recorded this before. All right. Anyway,
Huh.
there's a lot to hop into today, Faf. A lot of things that we need to cover about a lot of topics, specifically Brave Autumn 2019. So I'll let you get us started in whatever direction you want to, and I'll follow your direction.
Uh, the Brave Autumn Vortex dungeon is a dungeon. It's very easy, with the exception of, I think, one quest. You can basically full auto it. And
Very
to
well
say this
designed.
is disheartening to people who just came off of something like the Osiris dungeon, which they removed dichroma tokens from, almost like they watched our video and was like, huh, these people are doing this because it's easier to predict what Osiris does.
Yeah.
So we're just going to remove the tokens. Whatever. But after coming off of that, to see something that is so much a return to the worst is
It's sad.
disheartening, to say the least.
Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't let you full auto is there's like 3 Ziz that show up in, I think, stage 2 that only take damage from normal attacks, but then they pretty much instantly die to normal attacks, so as long as you're paying attention, you just win anyway. Oh,
That
there's a reason to do Osiris still. You still can get glitter sand in theory, but if you can't, then yeah, no reason to do Osiris.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, I still haven't done Osiris, but that just has more to do with how lazy I am, and now I regret it because now I can't get dichroma tokens. um,
Well, I wasn't lazy about it, but I felt like being lazy about it.
yeah. So,
Still don't have any glitter sand, by the way.
ouch. How many runs have you done?
I think we're up to 35 now.
That's evil. So, let's talk about the units that came alongside this, I'm putting this in quotations, celebration.
I'm going to go ahead and briefly address a comment in the stream
Mm-hmm.
chat. The new dungeon does not have any dichroma tokens on it. So, but the good thing is that it does have I think it's the acorn token,
Mm-hmm.
that make up for it purely because of Sero Anya's alt art, which I stand by is one of my favorite alt arts in the game.
It's really
I
cute.
love that alt art, and I cannot wait to get it from that bazaar and immediately use it on my Sero.
It's pretty adorable. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Besides that one edit that just I know you haven't seen this, Recoome, but there was an edit that someone made
Mm-hmm.
where, because Sarah's eyebrows the only thing visible on her face, someone just decided to edit the eyebrows out, which just made a blank white face, and it was terrifying.
That sounds horrifying. All right, cool. Thank you for that. Um, so I feel like we should start this video off talking about the quote-unquote highlight of this celebration, which would be the units Hishka and Fiora.
You mean Hishka.
I said Hishka.
You mean Hishka.
Yeah, sure, Hishka.
Hishka's the only highlight.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so let's start with Fiora so we can start on the low note and then end on the high note.
We'll start off with the thing that's arguably meta, but not really, but not quite, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get rid of Fiora right now. She has a lot of spark damage. She has a lot of spark.
It's a lot of spark damage.
That's a lot of spark damage.
The only issue with having a lot of spark damage is that she only has one hit.
Which is fine, except she's also super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that attempting to spark her is nearly impossible. I think that I'm looking at her frame data.
Mm-hmm.
How would you even hit this?
I don't think you would.
You'd
I
have
think that's
to delay.
the point. Yeah.
Now, granted, you could probably hit it on her extra action and or recasts,
Mhm.
which she has a trait shared with Juzo there.
Yeah.
And I know what you're thinking, but Juzo is amazing. Don't you love that? Don't you love being able to do extra action? Yes, I do. The problem is that Juzo has two hits that self spark each other, whereas Fiora has one hit that doesn't spark itself unless I maybe put wiles on it. I don't have a. I haven't tested wiles on her both because I don't have her and because I don't know how big of a difference it would make. I mean, it might make a difference, but not for the spark damage. It would make a
Yeah.
difference because every use for SBB gives her 14% overdrive fill,
Mhm.
which means you can just give her like Vesper or something and have her completely fill your gauge from 0.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty solid in the regard of overdrive fill, but again, when we reference back to the fact that she just one hit, doesn't supply much, extremely fast, difficult to spark, she really doesn't shine unless you're using her, I don't know, as someone said in chat, as a new Mifune. Like, she's just drop check Mifune with a couple extra buffs added onto her. She's thoroughly underwhelming for what I was expecting, and while I do understand where Gumi was coming from releasing a new unit for farming, this was not the way to do it.
I would say that if this unit had dark elemental weakness damage on leader skill,
Mm-hmm.
then she would be undoubtedly meta.
Yeah.
Since I know that Gumi is watching this, I'm going to go ahead and say that every other element, every single other one of the 5 elements, has a spark and elemental weakness damage lead for it. Dark has Nevero from Japan as their latest spark and elemental weakness damage lead.
Mm-hmm.
We have been waiting for something to fill that gap for how long has it been since Nevero's release? At least 2 years.
It's been at least 2 years, if not more.
Yeah, nothing has done it. And the only reason that you don't see Nevero being used is because Nevero is awful and we would prefer to use anything over stooping to Nevero.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was hoping that this unit would solve that problem. Instead, what I got is a unit that essentially has 300% spark on leader skill
Yeah.
and no mitigation and spark damage reduction because enemies sparking us was totally the only reason that we were dying.
Yeah, I don't really know what the deal with that was. It just
I don't
I genuinely cannot
understand.
think of a good reason as to why we would not yet have a spark and elemental weakness damage leader for dark. There's no reason. And while I understand, again, I understand the good intention that was meant by releasing a new unit for farming, as Mifune is just ancient, we still really need something for dark, and this could have been it, and it was chosen not to be. So unless Gumi has some insane, huge plans for dark, this is pretty disappointing and underwhelming.
I mean, I'll pull for her if only for the meme overdrive fill,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna break bank
yeah.
trying to get this unit. And again, I'm not even gonna attempt to get more than one.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Yeah,
reason I'm doing it is because I feel like if I can somehow shoehorn her into my Dark Dichroma team, then I might be able to solve my overdrive fill problem. But again, that's a big if, and
yeah. I don't see a lot of merit outside of farming. Um, I don't know.
if her leader
I'm not
skill
even gonna
had
pull for her.
if her leader skill had mitigation on it, she'd be a straight upgrade to Zareth
Yeah, true.
in terms of just leader skill in general.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It just seems like the ball was dropped in a lot of areas with this unit.
You mean the ball was spiked at us as
That's
hard
right.
as possible?
We were beanballed.
We've been beamed.
So, now that we've talked about Fiora and how relatively disappointing she is, I feel like we can talk about the highlight now.
Yes, so the free unit, I have to say this, the free unit is actually way better than the paid unit
Mm-hmm.
in a unique twist of fate.
Yeah.
Uh, the leader skill is very nice. I don't really have any issues with it.
Solid.
Extra skill is providing both experience gained, Summoner's Arc experience,
Which is
even
phenomenal.
cost reduction. Does he have more from his kit? No, he does not. But 25% is still plenty.
Mhm.
Uh, Overdrive fill, I see all over his kit. Some very nice buffs.
He's phenomenal.
Um,
He's just a good
yeah,
unit.
I mean, only thing weighing him down is that he's a double attacker. But even
Yeah.
then, for a free unit,
Hmm.
this is still incrable.
And considering the
Oh,
fact that
and
his
he's an
theme is,
experienced leader. I didn't even see that.
yeah,
He's
he's
got 20%, so
20%.
he can like.
And 5% EXP gain, or is it 5%? 5% boost
It's
EXP gain
5%
from his
from extra
extra
skill.
skill. So you could just stack a bunch of him in your farming squad and guard him and get some extra XP.
And the best part is that you don't even have to pull for him. He
Yep, he's
comes.
completely free.
All you have to do is log in and do the roulette every single day
Yeah.
because the roulette is a thing they added that people totally wanted.
Oh god, that roulette. um, so the thing that I mean, I'm conflicted about this event for sure because we took one step in the wrong direction and one step in the right. We see an amazing free to play unit that really is viable for a lot of players. Has a great kit, great extra skill, even a great leader skill. I won't deny it. I mean, he's phenomenal. But then we also have Fiora, who feels like a step in the entirely wrong direction, in which we're receiving leader skills for things that really don't matter. Extra skills, I mean, her extra skills mediocre, it feels like. Single hits, I mean, they gave us a unit that fills a niche that we never asked to be filled.
I am fine with Fiora as she is, but she is not. She is like one or two buffs off of being meta.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue reiterating that point. If she had one or two more
Mm-hmm.
buffs, then she would be fine. As it stands, though, the only reason I'm considering pulling for her is because she can somewhat resemble Juzo, but
Mm-hmm.
will always lose to Juzo,
Yeah.
even in an ideal situation.
I
Mm-hmm.
can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
Do y'all hear that?
But it is an endorsement.
Sorry, hold on. My computer just yelled at me. Sorry about that, guys. That was actually hilarious. My computer Cortana just decided to boot mid podcast. Guys, for those of you watching on YouTube and those of you watching on the stream, please give a round of applause for our guest star Cortana, who just decided to pop in. Anyway, we can continue, Faf. Sorry about that.
Hey Cortana, show me pictures of the Serengeti.
Exactly. So yeah, Fiora is close to being meta, but the fact that she missed out on it feels bad, man. It just feels bad, man. We were
Feels like
this
I got
close to
hit
having
by
a
a
good leader.
baseball. Feels like I got hit by a baseball.
Yeah, it does. It feels like I got beanballed by that humongous spiked bat. And then there's Hishka, and he's just looking at us smugly. So,
I'll go ahead and briefly talk about their DBB.
mhm.
It's got the Synergy Cyclone, which is just chance to negate KO resistance effects. If anyone in the chat can tell me whether this means that it would negate the angel idols off of opponents, or if this is supposed to read chance to negate KO resistance removal effects, which would mean that this is supposed to resist AI null. I have no idea which one it is. I don't think
The former
I don't
sounds
think I ever got an
terrifying.
answer on that.
The former sounds really, really, really broken.
The former sounds actually mostly useless because very few bosses nowadays actually use AIs specifically. I mean, I know Osiris does, but even then, most of these bosses, like Kranis, is coded to not die, and even at 0% HP.
Yeah, but one turn Maxwell kills.
Yes, because Maxwell was totally something that we needed DBB to solve.
I just think it's hilarious that you can one-turn Maxwell in theory now.
We could do that anyway.
Yeah,
we can
but it's
kill
still
Maxwell
fun.
before she even sets up her AI.
Damn it, you're right. All right, well, you know what? It's pretty useless. Maybe it'll come forward more in future content. Maybe we'll get Dichroma 2 Electric Boogaloo and this will just break it. I don't know what Goomy's doing anymore.
I mean, Thunder can run Cyclone. I don't think Dark will really care. Dark is too busy trying to figure out how it wants to run Miasma.
Yeah, basically. Dark is too busy wondering when Acno's gonna come back, so I have an actual fucking reason to run my Kranis.
I mean, I run Kranis. What's wrong with Kranis?
He's great. I want Acno for him.
Do you need it for Mit Kranis or Nuke Kranis?
Mit Kranis. Obviously, Nuke Kranis is the worst unit in the game. Duh.
Okay.
Anyway.
Also, apparently, the Dark VA unit is relating to the Sign of the Dragon.
That ought to be good. Another Dark Dragon.
Yeah.
All right.
How much you want to bet that it bonds with Saren so that we get a third Miasma pair?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because we totally needed more Miasma. We can
absolutely.
get Mike Kranis. What is this, Mike Wazowski?
Mike Kranis. So I feel like we can move on to the next point of the autumn event, which included, what was it? The new L gifts, the 2 new L gifts, which seem...
I have no idea what either of them are, so
I
please
can help.
take it away.
So, essentially, the Omni L gif is called, like, something Oak. I can't remember. It has a pretty standard name. But
Professor
it's an Omni
Oak.
L gif, and it really just offers a small amount of elemental weakness damage, crit rate, some attack, and parameter boost for all dark allies, which seems good, but not so much in the face of things like Final Judgment, which make it essentially worthless in terms of damage. And I don't think that you're really going to be gaining all that much from a 10% boost all parameters for dark allies when you could slot something significantly better. Natural Order, thank you. And then there's a 7-star one, which essentially just kind of seems useless except in VA. So that's all I have to say about those.
I zoned out throughout all of that. I have no idea what either of these do, but I know just from experience that the L gifts are mediocre.
They're really mediocre. They're just
You can go for them. They're nice for new players, but
yeah,
they're not something that I would use long term, and they're certainly not as good as, I forget which one. Was it Beach Spike?
The heal over time one or the damage one?
Whichever one was from the summer event.
There were 2.
Beach Spike.
Yeah, Beach Spike was one of them.
Yeah, Beach Spike was actually a really good L gift. That was basically a miniature Brave Aquarius, and it was great.
Solid. Yeah. So, other than that, I think that really covers the units, that covers the L gifts, kind of the rewards. We talked about the Sarah Anya alt art, which is adorable. Next up, I guess we could talk about the Vortex itself, and that would be all you, Faf, because embarrassingly enough, I haven't had time to do it yet. So,
I mean, I pretty much already stated everything that would be necessary to be said. The Vortex is a Vortex. It's a step back from the difficulty that we're used to. It doesn't even have a hard mode, which I think people would have appreciated. I don't really know what this Vortex was meant to do. I feel like this entire... I know this is probably going to catch me some flack, but I feel like this entire event was meant to cash in on Touch Fluffy Tail, and that's it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that, doesn't it?
And then I'll briefly say that as far as the cutscenes go, although I don't really know how many people watch them, Fiora is easily one of the most punchable people that I've ever seen. Not so much as Balefur, but she's getting dangerously close. And Hishka is a innocent little druid, and I loved every second of him, and I wish he had talked more.
Welcome to what I like to call Lugina class, which is just characters that you hate so much and really just want to punch the shit out of, like Lugina and Balefear, among
I
others.
can tolerate Lugina.
I can't.
Lugina is fine.
I refuse.
Lugina, at the very minimum, gets his just desserts and actually has a reason to be arrogant. Balefear has no reason to be arrogant. Fiora is out there skipping class and wielding a spiked mace and talking about how the cops came and somehow didn't confiscate her spiked bat. I can't.
Yeah, just yeah, punch her in the face. I feel like that's the most sensible solution. Just punch the characters you don't like in the face. So
Why? I wasn't advocating for that.
I don't know, dude. She's got a spiked baseball bat. You got one chance. Get your hit in and run. She's gonna fucking beanball you, dude.
No, I thought the goal was to beanball her. I don't know.
I mean, it is, but the issue is when you try to beanball someone with a giant spiked bat, it usually doesn't end up great for you, so.
Why would you beanball them with the... No, you don't... What pitcher takes a baseball bat?
No, I'm saying you're trying
throws
to
it at the
beanball. You're trying to beanball a person who wields a large spiked bat.
But you don't use a bat.
No, I know you use a ball. That's why it's called beanball. But I'm saying the person that you're throwing it at is wielding a large spiked bat, and I wouldn't want to throw a ball at someone who can bludgeon my head through with a large spiked bat. But regardless,
If you
that's
can
it.
get the blunt force trauma off on your first
It's
throw,
true.
then you're fine.
If you can get the stun off, then it's fine. If you can stun her and run, you're good. But if not, you're in for a hell of a beating. And she's got like 1,000% spark damage, so that one swing of the bat is gonna hurt. So,
Yeah.
for this event, what else is there to cover? I mean, we could talk about the emoji poll.
The
Do you remember
what?
that? The emoji poll. Do you remember that one?
The what?
Scroll up in the news. There was a Brave Autumn 2019 emoji poll in which they put a poll up on the official Facebook where people had to react with different emojis for what they wanted. It was interesting. And so yeah, that's I feel like that's the real highlight of the Brave Autumn 2019 is definitely the emoji poll.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah. Other than that, Q-Tong is back in the Autumn Gem Summon. Q-Tong's cool. If you don't have her, get her. She's great. And I feel like that just about covers everything in terms of just Brave Autumn. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up then. Would you
We
agree?
can briefly discuss Earth Vortex Arena if you want. I mean, there isn't really any point since it's already done.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a whole lot of point, but we can make a video about Thunder Vortex Arena.
You mean how it's virtually going to be unchanged regardless of what the new Thunder unit does?
Correct. Yeah, VA is fun. All right. Well,
She's cute though, the new
she?
Thunder unit.
I haven't even seen her.
Because they know that no one's going to pull her for nuking because she's not Deku.
They just want waifu
They
tier
just
with
decided to make her like super. She looks like Laressa.
her. Oh,
If that, she's got the same general vibe as Laressa.
I can see that. So yeah, I mean, when in doubt, if you're afraid that the players won't pull for your unit, just make it a waifu.
That's what worked for Sero. Did not work for Saskia too much, but
Not really.
you know an attempt was made.
An attempt was made, and that's all that really matters. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Faf, any final words for the YouTube video?
Oh no.
Oh, no. And as promised, at the end of this video, fucking chicken. Cool. We're going to sign off here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and an extra special thank you to everyone who is supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate it, and we will catch you next time.